education here at the Staten Island Zoo. And I'm going to take you guys on a little tour of part of the zoo and tell you a little bit of history of the zoo. Now, the zoo was started in 1936 in Barrett Park. So the grounds that the zoo is on is actually a New York City park donated by the Barrett family. And they wanted something that would be educational for the community of Staten Island. So that's why we developed a zoo on Barrett Park. Now, Staten Island Zoo is the first zoo in the country to dedicate itself to having education as part of its mission. So in 1936, when the zoo started, they decided they didn't just want to show people animals, they wanted to make sure that they educated people about animals as well. And that's something that we definitely hold to today. So I'm going to take you through some of our exhibits and tell you a little bit about the animals. Now we'll start right here in our aquarium. Now this is one of our newest exhibits. It's only about 2 years old. And we have 4 floor-to-ceiling tanks that represent 4 different ecosystems. So this one you're looking at right now is our saltwater coral reef tank. You can see there's tons of very colorful fish in this tank. You might recognize some things like the clownfish, some things like the tangs, and we have a few eels in here as well. It looks like our zebra eel is actually out down there. And we also have a few bamboo sharks. Right behind us over here is our Atlantic coastal tank. So everything that's in this tank can be found right off the coast of Staten Island in the Atlantic Ocean. And see, we have some sheep's head shark. We have some horseshoe crabs in here as well, some sea robins. And if you look at that pipe right there, there's my favorite guy. He's called an oyster toadfish. He likes to hide in rocks and in burrows, kind of in the sea. So he tends to hide, but he's my favorite fish. Right over here, represents a freshwater river, so an Amazonian freshwater river. So everything that's in here doesn't live in the ocean, it lives in rivers where it's freshwater rather than saltwater. And this tank represents a kelp forest. So kelp forests exist right off the coast of California in much colder water. So you can see we have a couple little, those aren't real kelp, but they're representations of kelp. We have some sea stars in here, and we also have a few other sharks on the bottom as well. And if you look right in there, we also have some anemones, and they're one of our newest members of the aquarium. So we're going to head a little bit towards the reptile wing. So as we head towards the reptile wing, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our first curator. His name was Dr. Carl Caulfield, and he was a herpetologist, which means he specialized in reptiles and amphibians. And what he really loved was rattlesnakes. They were his favorite thing. So he actually went out and collected all 32 species of rattlesnake in North America, and he displayed them here at the zoo. And that's really what started our extensive reptile collection and put us on the map as a reptile specialized zoo. And you can see we still kind of hold to that we honor that with the snake in our logo. And this right here is just a representation of what his early office looked like. So you can see lots of jars with specimens. We can see some actual snakes themselves, tons of books and files for all the research that he did. Another person who was really instrumental in putting us on the map was one of our zoo veterinarians, Dr. Patricia O'Connor. She was a zoo vet here starting in the 40s, and she was actually the first female zoo veterinarian in the entire country. And she was instrumental in starting up a lot of organizations, including the AAZV, so the American Association of Zoo Veterinarians. And it was an association that got a lot of the zoos communicating with each other, which was really important because at that point they were able to really collaborate on a lot of different projects. And she was our zoo vet here for 28 years. One of the other things that we do here at this Staten Island Zoo is we participate in SSP, or Species Survival Plans, which means we contribute to the breeding of endangered species or other species that are threatened. And these are some of the reptiles that we do breed. You can see, and this is our reptile nursery, so a lot of these snakes that you're going to see right here in our nursery are less than 2 or 3 years old. So as we walk through our reptile wing, you're going to see some of our other snakes. So most of the things on this side are venomous. So you can see we have our eastern diamondback rattlesnake. We have 2 in there. We have our timber rattlesnake. Now I did state that Carl Caulfield originally collected all 32 species in North America. We don't have all 32 species anymore, but we do have quite a few. And we also have ones from places other than North America. You can see we have our Catalina Island rattlesnake. He's moving around a lot today. And this little girl right here is one of my favorites. She's a king cobra. She'll get quite a bit bigger than that. She's very, very young at the moment. This is a gaboon viper, one of the deadliest snakes in the world. So they have the longest fangs out of any snake, and they have so much venom in their head. They have enough venom to kill 30 people right in that head. You can see our Samar cobra just peeking out there, giving us a little peek. Our South American rattlesnake. Here's our Egyptian cobra, who's very pretty hanging out back there. And this is one of my favorites. So this is one of our copperheads. You can see it's a little hard to see in there, but really bright orange, kind of looks like a penny. Our Northern Pacific rattlesnakes hanging out right up there for you guys. Looks like our Brazilian lancehead just had a bath. We have misters for a lot of these snakes that go off automatically. And our Black Forest cobras peeking right up to say hi. You can see just a minute ago he stuck his tongue out. And that's the way that snakes smell. So snakes don't have very good vision, and they don't have external ears, so they don't hear very well. They rely mostly on their sense of smell. So when you see them flicking their tongue out, that's actually the way they smell. They have a little hole on the roof of their mouth called a Jacobson's organ. And when they flick their tongue out, they flick it up and down, pick up all those scent particles, and then they put their tongue up into that Jacobson's organ, and that's the way that they smell. Right over here we have a reticulated python. Now reticulated pythons are the longest snake in the world. And we're going to move through our crocodilian area. So here we have 2 different species of alligator. Right here is our Chinese alligators, which are the smaller species of alligator. And you can see they are pretty big, but compared to our true American alligators, these guys are about double their size. You can see they're up there waiting for their lunch. Now we're going to move outside, and I'll show you a few new things that we have here at the zoo. See, just as we come out of our reptile wing, we hit our conservation carousel. I hope some of you guys have ridden our conservation carousel, and we'll come back pretty soon when we open up again and have a ride. All of the animals on there are hand carved and hand painted. Now right over here on my right are our beehives. This is one of our newer exhibits. These were added just last year. So bees are really, really important to the ecosystem. Most of the food that we eat is dependent on bees. About 1 in every 3 bites is directly related to bee pollination. So we have 2 different kinds of bees here. The yellow hive has Italian bees, while the green hive has what's called Saskatraz bees. And you can see they're just waking up from hibernation. And you can see some of those Saskatraz bees starting to fly around. And we can thank the Honeybee Conservancy for providing us with the beehives and also providing us with the beekeepers that do come here. They're trained, they go through their beekeeper program, and they do come here and take care of the hives about once a week in the spring and throughout the summer. So when you guys come this summer, hopefully you'll come on a Saturday or Sunday and be able to see our beekeepers inspecting the hives. And a lot of times they do public hive inspections where they pull the panels out and they can show you where all the bees are, and they can show you where the bee babies are and the eggs, and they can also show you how they make the honey. And these guys made some delicious honey for us last year. We were super lucky because usually in the first year, the bees don't make a lot of honey, but we got a couple of jars last year. It was really dark and super sweet, and it was absolutely delicious. Now, as we go over to the bridge, we're going to be heading into our children's center, where there's just a couple little things that I would like to show you. Right when we come off of the bridge, we're right at the back of our pollinator garden. So our pollinator garden is super important for the pollinators that are here. Not only our bees that you just saw, but also butterflies, hummingbirds, moths, and other insects that help to pollinate plants. So we just planted our pollinator garden, so we don't have anything above ground just yet, but in just a few weeks, this is going to be super lush and green and hopefully full of all those pollinators. And our garden is certified as a National Wildlife Federation habitat. So we're gonna end right here with our sheep because we have some super exciting news. We have 4 new baby lambs this year, and you can see one of our little babies is out. That is Hazelnut. And Hazelnut and her sister Pistachio were born just, and they're both out. These are the boys. So Hazelnut and Pistachio were born just about a week ago. They look almost identical, except Pistachio has those little white socks. And we have 2 other babies that were also born just a few days ago, Coca and Cola. So hopefully when you come and visit us this summer, you'll be able to see all 4 of our baby lambs out here. So that's the end of our tour. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to see you very soon this summer at the Staten Island Zoo.